adapt with a whole new day of zones.
They want a game though. They want a game. Of course, you can't complain about North zones if you're winning games from them. Of course, Joe and zAndy not quite faring that well in the rest of the games, but they're still up there on the leaderboard. Miro and Booga, one of our favorite teams going into this, they're not quite faring as well.
Salutare, Saludiric, Stefan, Casan, tanto. Înainte, Casan. Tata William.
FNCS Invitational, but to kick things off, let's go on over to Adam and Kelly.
Thank you very much. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hai că poate... Mamă, ce... Animație cu dash-pi. Chiar sunt curios cine câștigă, dar să nu lungească 10 ore. Ha, mă, ce să mă alunge ăștia? O să pun facecam mai imediat, băieți. Da.
Hello there and welcome to FNCS Invitational 2022! Live from Raleigh, North Carolina, how are we doing, world?
Tot la că mai este ceva de genul. Dați-vă chat un like. Dați bucuite like-uri, că...
FNCS Invitational. 50 of the best duos from around the world representing 7 regions duking it out for the lion's share of $1 million. First place walking away with $200,000. But not just that, they're fighting for the pride and the bragging rights and of course that trophy right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now, of course, Kelly, we have set the scene here. Obviously, we have the amazing audience. We've got you guys watching at home. Everyone is ready to rock. We're missing one key element. Of course, the players, the stars of this show. We thought we'd try something before bringing them out here. So if you'd like to, by all means, you don't have to. If you want to, though, do stand up, guys, okay? You can stand if you like to. We're going to ask all of you guys to follow me in a clap. All right, we're going to start slow. I'm going to get faster and faster and faster, and then we're going to go absolutely bonkers. Okay, here we go. With me. You ready? Here we go. Let's meet those players!
It's time.
It's time to meet the players.
Ia introduce, mă, mâncați-și. Bă, ți-am zis că ăsta nu into voice, sens, nu into voice. Te pun acolo. Acum vine și cămașa, stați puțin că trebuie să pun și... Dar va să-l prind pe zAndy când intră. Stai să tine mai spre jocul. Mai înveți jocul ăla.
Leading the teams going into day number 2. These guys need to stay focused in order to secure the prize.
Mama, dar ea e introduce. N-ai treabă. Fac n-ai treabă. Că am făcut și el. Da, cred că îi bagă mai late, mă. Vezi că ăștia au potențial ping cu Anas. Ce set este ăsta, Cami? Poți să facă bine de tot. Facă cu Reason. Ei.
This team might take a different approach today to get to the top of the leaderboard.
Absolutely incredible. Once again, just our first 10 duos coming back onto the stage after 6 games yesterday. I feel like we can't not talk about them, right? Brazil, PH, that backcourt
Câte meciuri mai sunt? Mai sunt 6 meciuri, bă. Ăla face greedy, ăla face greedy și cu bancă.
It's been amazing, right? PH Zin, he does 25 FNCS finals appearances. PH Zin, 4 championships alone, one for Vehy those total of 5 FNCS championship titles for the duo. I mean, they're incredible.
Yeah, they really are. They're playing so good. They're getting to the front side of zone. I'm excited to see them today.
That's right. Let's go ahead and meet the next 10 players. Let's run it. Give it up for eye-dropping Mr. Savage, coming in hot on his birthday run yesterday. These guys faced a huge obstacle off spawn. Will this change today?
2 secunde. Meciul, nu pune meciul, că să pune meci 7. Savage ăsta e nebun, nu? Vezi că Cold Coast a jucat mondiale. E meciul 1 LOL? Nu, e meciul 7 pe Sant. Ieri a fost meciul, nu? De la 1 până la 6, bro. Hai că acum te simte și zAndy. A zis ziua 2, ba da. Degeaba au ajuns ăștia că... Degeaba. Hai că acum te simte și... with some great performances on day 1. These guys have already proven that they belong in this lobby and they belong at the top. Welcome to Bailey and Alex battling it out. I see them on Bailey. Off spawn. These guys can still make it today, but it will take a hero's effort. Pablo, Wingu, and Swag with a bumpy start to day 1. These guys are in full focus mode for the comeback. Watch out, because it might get dangerous. Păi da, e în day 1 a fost top 5, acum nu se știm cât iese.
Welcome everyone, I am joined here by Sinted and Cold, your 8th place team out of day number 1. And Scented, we got to talk about that victory royale run that you had yesterday. What was the recipe for success?
You know, we just played our game. We got some good loot. We're getting half of our loot taken, so we were able to find some refreshes and put ourselves in a good spot throughout the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
fuck
definitely.
fans, only
Obviously,
fans?
you guys are in
Nah.
a good spot right now. 8th place is a great place to be in. But what's the strategy for today? You're changing things up or still sticking with what you did?
Just sticking to the same thing. Just playing our game out. Hopefully, just hoping for the best.
I love it. Thank you guys so much. And one last thing, is there anything that you want to say to the audience right now?
Enjoy, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Guys, make some noise for Scented and Calder
Cred
right
că o să
now.
ofență
Let's head on
pe
over to the next part.
ăștia. Îl arată și pe zAndy, 100%. Acum intră și el.
Please welcome Clown and Refscard with a total of 78 points and currently 25th on the leaderboard. These guys will need to
Deci eu sunt
climb the
acolo.
ranks today and pop off.
Let's mai pe joc.
Let me give you Mixin and Arthur coming out hot yesterday. These guys are looking to
Ăla nu e
keep
zAndy, nu?
it going for the best possible placement today on the day.
A big welcome to Pars and Rays representing the NA West region. They will need to focus up if they want to climb that leaderboard. Yesterday was, of course, a battle at the drop.
Put a warm welcome together for Belusi and Hijo with a sense
Ia
of
uite-i
drop on the
pe
map.
nebunii
These
ăsta.
guys should have a smooth time reaching all the zones and at first place.
Vico and Marine, everyone, with the highest single-player elimination count in game number 6. This team has to be ready to keep the ball rolling and try to grab that first place spot.
Să vedem că te simți acum. Ba nu.
And Baca, everyone, with an off-spawn contest from the very first second of each game. They're looking to take over day 2 and take over the top spot.
Let's hear it for Wox and Robob. They had a strong showing to close out day number 1
Cum mai
here
între
at the
românii.
FNCS Invitational. Let's see what they can do today.
This is Groles and Rifty. These guys got fired up on day 1 and will look to
Sunt
continue
aici
that
trăiesc în
streak
joc,
today
pe bune.
and take home the prize for EU.
Let's get a big welcome for
Pe bune că
Larson
trăiesc
and
jocul
Sweat,
ăsta.
battling it out at the top of the leaderboard amongst the best of the best. This duo had a lot to say before closing out the evening.
Put your hands together for Falconer and Hellfire. This NA West.
Nu e nicio fată, pe bune.
Ce
Ce pomă băta. Că masa asta, că dacă mă coadezi în ea, bubuie. Nu mai intră zAndy. Bine, el era după, gen. Acum, în setul 4. Sau în 3. Left.
Let's talk about Smite and Larson. Sitting in 7th place, we got to see them just 2 back. How are you feeling about this duo coming into the competition today? Because I have really high hopes.
Look, I'm on your boat, Zeke. They're looking strong. They're looking
Bă,
powerful.
mă tolează ăștia de la...
Winning 4-2 off spawn against Muzz and Looter. Currently in the 7th place
De la
spot. I mean,
Fonet.
they're doing great.
Yeah, they're doing great. Another duo that's doing great as well is, of course, Vico and Marine. We thought they were going to land Tilted Towers yesterday, but they switched it up. They went to the reality tree, and it's working out for them. Of course, Vico with the highest solo eliminations of the day, a 10 elimination game in the final game. So they close things off strongly. Can they pick it up?
We'll find out, but first, let's meet the next 10 duos from the FNCS.
Am următorii 10. N-am avut eu să mă duc, mă, pe bună. Că după Peterbot trebuie să-l bagi și pe zAndy. După Peterbot parcă e el sau mai știu.
Make some noise for Pamstu and Fatch. Currently finding themselves in the top 10. These guys are running for the trophy. Now is the time for them to shine.
KBR in seat, folks, giving it their all.
Locul 6, ia.
They find themselves as the 6th best team in the tournament so far. They are here to make the Brazilian region proud.
Let's give a warm welcome to Vehy and Vortexers, coming out with an average elimination of 2.6. These guys are amongst the top fraggers in this lobby. Let's see more of this today.
Mă, lasă-mă cu take-ul ăsta că mă plictisește. Ăsta m-a invitat ca streamer să vorbesc acolo, dar am zis, lasă-mă, lasă alții.
Give it up for Scram and Jim, showing they belong in this lobby with a top 3 finish in day 1. Will they keep that momentum going?
Put your hands together for Zaku and
Ia uite pe ăștia mici. Bă, dar nu știu cât să n-are ăsta blond. Mamă, la 15 pixel. Uite rețele. Locul 5. Succes, mă, zAndy. Hai să avem party nebun pe YouTube. Vă aștept și pe voi. Ia uite-l. Rupe Guani azi. Rupe Guani azi.
Everything is possible for this team. Today is their final chance to make it happen.
I am joined right now here in North Carolina by Vehy's replays! Replays, my guy. What an amazing experience this is. You were at World Cup. Here we are at FNCS Invitational. How has the vibe been for you?
Oh man, it feels great to finally be back at an in-person event. The vibes, the atmosphere is feeling absolutely amazing. So, shout out to all of you guys coming. Honestly, let's make today a great day.
Yes, guys. I mean, speaking of the community as well, what does an event like do this to the community? You're a huge ambassador of the game here. How great is it for these guys?
Honestly, this is like I said, it's being back again
after 4
years.
What?
I think this is
great
for everyone to experience. Like just seeing all the players here from around the world. One of the best, some of the best players around the world being able to watch in person is such a great experience. So let's have fun. Let's see how these players do today, and let's see who takes it all.
Let's do it. Enjoy the show. Replays, everyone. Let's meet the next 10 duos.
Asta e și pe următorii, doamne, dar mai lungește mult. De topia, zic că tot așa 5 rămâne. Top 5 zic eu că ea. Ia trofeul azi. La seama test meu. Ce outfit nebun. Ce mongal pe acolo, nu. Mamă, stai să-mi pun și ochii la ăștia, că bubuie ochii. Bă, depinde că e greu, gândiți-vă că e FNCS invitațional, aici se joacă cei mai buni. Comenzi Vortex. A votat Comenzi? Nu, bă, până la 10 ținește asta. Până la 10.
No introduction with the clash of the European Titans in Cloudy Condo. Tayson and Chapix are looking to take over.
Let's give it up for Maz and Looter.
Mamă, uite și pe Maz ăsta. Cele bune.
I am sure we we are in for a treat today. It's going to be a
Acum să de câștigă. Bă, nu știu.
And finally, let's hear it for Booga and Miro. The fan favorites are ready and looking
Miro ăsta e
to
cam
make a
nebun.
comeback of a lifetime.
My goodness, it'll never get old. I'm telling you. Watching these duos make an entrance like that is always going to be incredible. We want to highlight a duo for you here, and it's a lot of probably a duo that we're all hoping, and we kind of touched on. Hope does well. Acorn and Edgy. Edgy having a series of second place finishes in the FNCS, still hasn't seen that first place, and man, he wants it, and he wants it here.
Look, he wants it. He's not the only one that wants it. Thomas and Edgy both competing for that trophy. Their first trophy, but talking a bit more on Acorn, I couldn't emphasize enough how important their day one is and was for them. I mean, Acorn having the most damage dealt in the first and second zone out of any player shows that they prepared beforehand for this tournament. But the question is, in day 2, will they be contested? Will the change in zones cause them to not do as much damage? There's so many factors that come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. And their worst game was a 42nd, and it was when Hydro and Belusi rotated in from that west side. It kind of made things a little bit difficult for them because they had so many teams in the area already. Of course, we have no Rayleigh there as well. It's very, very difficult for them to all be there at once. And unfortunately, they've been very, very solid, playing the end game layers really well. And I'm excited to see them perform.
That's right, Kelly, standing by right now with Acorn and Edgy as they prepare for the competition.
Thank you so much, Zeke. I am joined by Acorn and Edgy. And guys, make some noise for this team right here. You guys are currently in 4th place. What is that like to be in the top 5?
It feels pretty nice, especially one of the only NA teams up here. But it's not over till it's over. And it's just going to come down to the last game.
Well, with how you guys have been playing, 1 second place.
Bă, Flavius, dacă te uiți în titlu, ai în titlu, bro. Top, sincer.
Honestly, we just need to keep getting kills and refreshes and stuff. And if we just get mats and play with mats, we'll do good. It's really just we run out of mats, that's why.
I mean, good luck to you guys. You have 6 more games
Yes,
to go.
că ești în titlu.
Everyone, it's time to head on back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Kelly. As incredible as always, but it is almost that time to kick off the competition. So why don't we go hang out with Monster, D-Face, and Jacob PR.
Bă, cât mai lungi să mă mâncava și ca asta.
Into the action. Let's go ahead and start gearing up, of course, for that first game there, Jacob.
Yeah,
Game 7.
Of the day, but it's the 7th game overall in the competition. The FNCS Invitational has not disappointed one bit.
That's right. A 2-day competition leaves a lot of stress, of course, on the shoulders. You get that first day out the way. About everything and how it played out.
Yeah, luckily for them, this is a 2-day competition. For some of these teams that might be on the low end of the leaderboard, don't count yourselves out yet. It's all about that mindset, but the mindset has to be ready because game number 7 starts right now.
Here it is. The players are on that back bus, and we get to see it all play out.
Tastatura has pe mine.
It's day 2 of the FNCS.
Ia uite pe aici sus.
And we are just moments away from jumping off that bus. Let's get
Mama, ai făcut.
We got a little bit of a different bus
What
path than most of them we saw yesterday. All the way south, moving north. That means Cloudy Condos are going to have action. Greasy Grove is going to have Jansen Video, and a lot of time to run around because that's one of the things that I felt like frustrated them a little bit. 5 north zones on the day yesterday. It left them very little time to get things going.
But hey, that didn't stop zAndy and Joe from doing well. That did not stop other teams that land in those southern areas from performing well. It is all a matter of how you strategize.
Yep, and already you see Cammy and Seti, the only team with 2 VRs on the day. They got their own drop spot and they held it for seasons. And already you can see where they're getting a lot of their servers. That early bus path already proven to be successful.
That's right. A great job there. Early tags, playing
In the size on this synapse.
Luckily for us, we get to really pick up where we left off. This fight here for Larson and Smite didn't always go their way. Although they did manage to end inside that top 10 window, it was still very much a competition for them. And I'm I mean, this is the most room we've actually seen them have.
Yeah, yesterday you seen like a
Ca și casa lui pe bună.
Larson's favor. Over here towards Vico and Moran. Vico has been going off as a solo all day long yesterday, and you can already tell it looks like they're on the hunt, trying to catch somebody off guard, and that's a lone player that they're surrounding.
The first thing Vico told me was, "Did you see me pop off last night?" I was like,
I think we all did.
You were going crazy, and we get to see how they're feeling, and you can tell.
Mamă, sunt și pampa aici asta. L-a văzut.
And really try to make this a play here, but that build from Gralls is going to go ahead and discover that there's an opponent down here, and up he goes. Yeah. Oh!
Ce play!
What a read! And they just cut him off. That was beautiful.
That was a perfect read. He checked him
Ce
out of
play!
the book of the library. It didn't even return him back. That is huge, and you can see Vico and Moran, the only team currently in the top 10, playing in their first finals together. That is natural chemistry. That goes to show these are two fantastic individual players. You combine those powers, you get one dangerous duo. Just like Cold and Scented. They had one of the victory royales yesterday, a couple of top placements, and that put themselves in contention to take the title.
And lucky for Cold and Scented, they've managed to go ahead and find themselves
Play
a
a
little
făcut
bit of
ăla,
room to
Doamne.
play the drop there.
L-au
That's why we're
manetat pe
noticing them
bune.
in the game. And just think about the dynamic that's playing out right here for Larson.
Totalmente.
They have a huge decision to make. Do we go ahead and risk it all and take the fight for Muzz and Looter, or do we allow them to have a piece of this drop spot so that we
Pipen cu Thomas de aici stau pe... La venseală stau aici.
How dangerous it can be, and Smite and Larson, they're in the top, and you got to imagine those two games that they got taken out off spawn, how much that could have changed things. And 96 players alive. This is the same passive style gameplay that we saw in game number 1. That only leads me to think one thing: Storm Surge is going to get chaotic.
It's going to be a tough one, but hopefully not for Mr. Savage and iDrop as they kick things off very nicely here. It seems like the engagement against On1 and Baka, this is what we've been touching on this entire time, right? The fact that
Luneta e bună, mă.
the
Să întoarce bine.
usually whoever gets the high ground is the most.
Nu te băga Sevici ca românul, că...
Savage stepping up to the wall. Let's see how quickly he can turn this around.
Yeah, right now it just seems like the aggressor is off this ball. Oh my god!
Ce pump și-a luat.
Savage just get absolutely done up by On1 and Baka.
Mamă, de-a dat un open.
Momentum from yesterday, putting a high drop on the back foot. He's just trying to stay alive right now and stabilize the situation.
Nu, lasă ăștia, nu lasă.
Respect NAOS before you have to now. On1 and Baka have truly shown how their preparation has come into play here.
A băgat el presul.
One of the stronger European duos to show up here this weekend.
Yeah, they smell the fear right now, and they're hot on the chase. This is 2 more points. This is a great start. More Storm Surge, everything for On1 and Baka to keep it going and try to get that top spot, because they know with the second place finish in NA West last season, anything is possible. But iDrop, he doesn't want to be a part of it, but they're just not wanting to let him get away.
I like that they're chasing this one down here, though. I think it's very much worth it. Get those points. Make up for the games that you were bested out on.
E da, moare ca dobitocul.
Everyone close your eyes. You saw nothing. We move on.
Oh, but look at that in the feed, though. King gets credit for the knock on the Baka. I don't know where they're at, but you got to know, an aggressive team coming from Brazil, if they see that green light, they're going to go.
They have to weigh their options at that point.
Uite-și pe wadaj dacă cu FNSS pickaxe-ul.
Luckily for us, we get to jump on over to Janice and Vadil here at the reality ball. This has been a very interesting position for them.
Mamă, vezi că uita asta.
Vico and Moran have found so much success, and Vadil and Janice are
Mas cu Smite se bat mai aici.
Yeah, this is what more we were looking towards seeing today. It may have started off a little slow, but Smite and Larson know how dangerous they can be, especially if they have the high ground against Muzz and Looter. But the longer this one takes, it looks like it was a little bit of a north zone. A lot of teams are going to begin to rotate in, so you know as well as I do, the longer you take, the more chance of a third party, and that's going to be Larson and Smite's job right there to try to disengage. But they don't disengage far, they just continuously hold that high ground.
Smart of them.
Voi fight ăștia, ce? L-aude. O să dau de jos.
I play better. Box to box. Come see me.
That could have been a key. That could have been a huge key for success for Smite and Larson, because winning those off-spawn exchanges gets you the Storm, so you don't have to worry about it later in the game. But the duo from OCE wants to challenge the NA East. Muzz taking some layers away. Larson just trying to stagger himself. Right there, those angles are going to be so important for both of these teams.
And players know better than
Ce fac ăștia, mă? Își fac box fight. Air fight. Dar și copiii voi a doua pe fundal. Doamne.
Yeah, it's like an Eiffel Tower getting built. You even see those shots already now
zAndy e mort, nu e în viață.
Everybody wants that
N-ai
surge. They
contest.
want to have as much flexibility through the mid game as possible. And once again, it looks like Larson and Smite are trying to disengage. They don't want to get stuck in this mess. They felt and dealt with this lobby at the top spot, and they know that you cannot fall behind. You cannot put everything you all have in all one moment. So for them, it's about re-matting up because you look, they barely have anything.
Well, lucky for us, things are going to simmer down, and Taco's going to give us the quick update.
Ia-te și pe Rege. Dar pe Rege, cum stă așa stă. Așa stă, boss.
They're sitting right now in that 4th place position on the leaderboard, so it is absolutely crucial for these guys to gather as much materials, as much loot and resources as possible, and that's exactly what zAndy is making sure to take their time to do, because they know they've got quite the journey ahead of them, and they're going to make the most of it. But let's get back to the action.
S-a blocat replay-ul.
Thank you so much for that breakdown there, Taco. It really does give us the full picture about Joe and zAndy's journey in the game here, right? They're one of the few teams, like we said, they, against all odds, perform very well with the zone not landing them.
Yeah, and you can kind of see a little bit of how they're getting the job done, but Smite in the feed looking like he's already going to take down in a 1v2 situation. I'm getting that feeling of deja vu from yesterday where they 1v2'd inside of the cave.
Dacă se bagă ăștia, bombă.
Great angle for Smite here. He almost catches Ludo off guard. He was so ready, but here comes the defensive shots from down low. That wall is not his, and now he has to break through. This is how a pro player turns things around.
Ce bombă i-a dat. Renegade, ia ți-i da. Filter, n-ai uitat.
Showing exactly how he's feeling right now.
Vehy cu păr.
That first elimination. This is how Muzz went down. He's building in wood. The lack of resources right now. He got did up like a sit up, sent back to the lobby. Now it's up to
Uite și pe Bailey ăsta, de pe Oceania.
Bailey, the siphon finally going to come through, and this is a chance for him to slow it down, stabilize here for a moment while he figures out what is next.
Oh.
Alex and Bailey have been contested this weekend. Pars and Raze mixing things up. Seems like they haven't caught a break just yet.
Mai mers ăsta.
Way to kick things off. Raze is down in fact as well, so this is a one-on-one type situation.
Cu să dai mă la FNCS, aș fi dat și eu.
His way to a reboot, man. The longer this goes on, the tougher it's going to be for him to go ahead and turn this bad situation around.
Yeah, but if they're going to go ahead, and right now Alex has the opportunity with the med miss and the flopper, they can try to get a reboot that is in Storm, but you got to do it sooner rather than later. But it doesn't.
Mamă.
Wants to let that one.
Bă, zonele sunt full fight tot timpul, mâncavași.
That is going to be another northern zone. So the players that we were talking about, Janice and Vidil, Joe and zAndy, and a lot of those teams that are on the southern portion of the map have to go ahead and figure out a way to go ahead and travel as fast as possible yet again.
Looks like we're picking up the trend where we left off. This is a full zone pool. But Joe and zAndy have already proven to us they know how to play these. One thing we do know for certain.
Logic că știu mâncați și când Synapse te tolează jocul, pur și simplu.
Excellent end games. We'll see if it ends up happening. Joe and zAndy moving from outside the zone. They don't necessarily want to take the fastest course of action to the safety. They have to go a little wide here to give themselves some room. In the distance, Cammy and cere, so they're hot on their trails as well. And then, of course,
Ce fac în zonă?
That's the resistance.
Yep, you see Joe and zAndy 5 games with 5 plus eliminations on day one. Most of any duo. The consistency coming out of some of these teams is absolutely insane. Jumping on board, Queasy and Vino, our first place team. They got the zone that you talked about, and you look how they're setting up right on top of the blimp. They're not necessarily together. That way they can continue to maximize their opportunity to get surge.
And they're so far apart. Just look at where Vino is compared to where Queasy was on that mountain. They have that north zone on lock. Here's Edgy and Acorn, one of NA East's only hope inside the top 10 right now. Last game yesterday fell slightly short of their expectation, but one thing I did notice about Acorn and Edgy, they were in the player lounge late last night, VOD reviewing, studying how to adjust their gameplay to never drop another round. If they can put all of those rounds and learnings into play, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Ia topat, ascultați, zic.
from Cammy and Seti.
Eu ascult bossul meu.
After day number 1, they want that free rotation, especially since they are in the storm. But I did see Booga go down. Malibuga getting a knock.
Mamă cât below.
But for this team, I love this rotate now. Cammy and Seti were in a different position yesterday. They were down on Surge, but for Trulex and Teacher,
Bună Diana, bine ai venit pe live.
they have absolutely nothing to worry about other than finding that sweet spot in zone.
Cum deschid eu Chrome?
Playing very smart, taking their time, and of course hiding out where they can. Another team that is seemingly interested in playing as individuals here. Sente trusting in his teammate to watch his back.
Vă puneți azi, mi-ați vă pupătăți.
Tripern and Thomas HD coming in at second place today, finding themselves 19 above the surge. Big task in front of them, but this is
Dacă le sari ăștia în cap acum.
about a delivery. You find a player, it's Grolls, one that we know was already taken out earlier, so he's going to have a
mai de la
amount of loot to work with. It seems like Tripern takes the passive route. They find a few tags, they get away. I wonder.
Pe Portugalia, credem acasant că nu mai am 12 ani. Ce fac? Mă la băieții ăștia șmecheri cum joacă. Auzi pe că îți dau o bombă casant. Cu pe și fără. Mamă, dar ți grafica ăsta, doamnă. Se uită fetele mea, se uită și pe mole, se uită și pe steada cu asta, stai cu minte că... Bomba lui Vehy? Nu știu. Uite Brazil, țipă ăsta. Mamă, l-a pișat pe website.
Just outside of the zone as well. KBR and Z, they have plenty of heals to work with. And that's exactly why they're staggering themselves so far back. 290.
La foilenul la tine.
That's a feeling of comfortability as Storm Surge begins
Nu
to
știu.
activate. And this is the thing.
Pica gluma.
For those players that are comfortable on Storm Surge, this is an opportunity to look around the lobby, figure out who
Cred că a stricat-o Vehy-ul meu osul din Italia. Ai știi pe osul mineule? Pe Vehy-ul meu osul.
What looks like a little hold up, right? Looking at the loot, weighing the options, nice little pickup there. But hold up, Brazil versus Middle East is going down right now. Spy is on the low ground here.
Am uitat Andy?
It's not looking good.
Nu mă pot să cred.
Quick take there from Spy as he defends off PHZin, but PHZin has all the pressure off of his shoulders, and he catches Spy in a
Mamă, ți-a dat-o lui ăsta. Așa l-a tăi, nebun. Pus botul. Nu știu mă că nu l-am văzut, uite la aici. N-am uit. Mamă, 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 bă.
Joe and zAndy also feeling the pressures of a late rotate coming out the zone. Luckily, there is, of course, the edge right in front of them, so this is going to be a slow mover. They're going to have to burn a second launch pad now, which will open up an inventory slot. But look at Joe and zAndy here. They will have to do something big in order to bounce back. Have Colton sent it off to the side here. Great early.
Pula în zi sunt ăștia de trag după el.
Don't want to risk it. Not worth it.
And you can see right now, since it's pulling so far north, you see Chrome Jam Junction right there. That southern portion of the zone is going to get so stacked, and it's going to get so hard for some of these players to traverse through, as Thomas HD and Tripren still trying to hold on to as much of the high ground as possible. And you can see him peeking through, gathering all that information, and that's so important because you don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
This is my problem with them disengaging from Grolls and Rifty.
Ghinion cu zona, pe tot timpul au avut-o fire.
They were just coming off of a reboot pickup, and now looking back at it, they could have used that damage. This extra pressure here to perform is going to force them into either peeking, which will open up the risk, or jumping onto a player, and they're going to go for high ground, they're going to go for position. They find a box, no one's inside of it, and a quick check just in case. Tripper all of a sudden finds himself in a world of trouble here, just a couple of seconds before this surge turns on.
huge right now. You see they're just trying to look everywhere, but that's the thing in these stack lobbies. When you fall behind on Surge, it is so tough to find the shots that you need because everybody's just boxed up. Nobody wants to peek. Nobody wants to bite off more than they can chew because then that is how you go down. 329 above, Acorn by himself. He has very little to worry about in terms of Surge. For him, it's just about making it to zone.
N-am imă zone, nu mai zice că ți-au nu mai zice ți-au că sunt
Thomas HD, the Surge is active. No way they go in through the Chrome build. They are not playing around, but this is some of NA West's best box fighters on the other side of the wall. Thomas HD, Tripper have to take this battle here. They do not have time to sit around. Looking out. Anything for anything. There it is. Vaca opens the wall. No tag. That's a miss. That's a problem. Reminder find a little bit here. He's now leading. He does have the HP advantage. And he goes.
A, mă uite, pe. A, nu! A, nu! Baca asta moare. E pisat focus.
He has to try to find a stabilize, to find a moment to breathe right now, because it was game 5 yesterday. He 1v2'd Mr. Savage and I-Drop at the top of Chrome.
Uite-l pe zAndy cu John, nu mai zice cu asta că-ți dau o bombă acum.
The opportunity to revive on one. So Baca is now by himself, but luckily for him, they did get some early eliminations, they did get some early damage, so they don't have to worry about Storm Surge. But oh my god, how are Thomas and Tripper still alive?
This is crazy, the map awareness, understanding the vault was just nearby and fighting their way towards it for the heals. It wasn't just for the battle, it was the positioning to the vault. What a big
pe zAndy nu pot.
It all makes sense as to why they wanted to position themselves here, but still, they will need to find.
Dacă mă uit pe Fortnite avem delay mare, foarte mare avem delay.
And for that can easily close the gap on a couple teams if they want to go box to box, wall to wall, and have that be their plan. You can see them breaking through the builds. They're just trying to find anybody that is nearby because they don't want to peek and accidentally get shot at by the lobby. So for them, it's about finding whoever is close and they hear the players nearby. So they're just trying their best to figure out what they are doing.
Just a couple tags now, but also a few seconds away from the half in, half out. The Surge will continue to wreck the lobby. It's going to become more and more difficult now as the seconds rage on. This is game 7 of the FNCS Invitational, and the action is really starting to pick up now.
Yeah, Pamstu went down early on. Batch left by himself. A consistent duo on the day, but he is 17 below the damage threshold. In his line of sight, but somebody, that's cere who takes that one away. That was Fatch's best chance at Storm Surge damage.
It's going to go all the way north here. We know Edgy was a solo. Now we have Thatch as a solo as well. A tough position to be in. Take a look at the points. It is looking very much like a 3-way race, continuing the trend here as EU leads the charge right now. Jumping over. Shield bubbles are down. Tripper and Thomas HD has found their next targets, and it's not an easy choice by any means. We are looking at KBR and Z on the other side of the wall.
Mamă, dar astea nu mai am nimic să-ți, trebuie să uitați în half.
They knew where they last stood when it came to that damage, exactly that. They are still below. It is still a worry for them, and they have to travel through all these players who are actually beating them to the punch. This could get dangerous, but for Janus and Vidil, they have the high ground. They have that perfect opportunity if they're low on Surge to just clean up the lobby.
And we wanted to check in with Vino and Queasy. How have they managed to take this zone favor and turn it to their advantage? Heavy material, big HP, well above the Surge, launch pads to work with. This is a story written for them right now. And again, you saw how many points they had leading coming into this. This can only end well for them at this point. But let's go ahead and look at Aqua. Reason, a much different story. This is a team that will be right, and you can see they're already positioned themselves to do it. But Aqua with a drop shot and now punished for the risk. Reason has to leave him behind. He turns it around. Another team says, "Whoa, what are you doing?" That's a solo now, and the burning of the mats here to try to survive.
De ce n-a dat picul și a plecat zen?
Yep, he was right there trying to chop down.
Uite-l pe Josh pe zAndy, dar ce tragea nimeni mâncați-și?
Right then and there, and he went for it. That was a huge opportunity. Unfortunately enough, it didn't pay off, but for Acorn and Edgy, they're making it this far. And actually seeing these guys get knocked a few times throughout this game. That was where AG finally went down, but for Acorn, he was one of the biggest damage dealers in the lobby throughout 6 games yesterday. Looking to keep that up for Cammy and Seti. They started the day in 3rd. They moved up to 2nd already, so their game plan is continuing to pay off.
Io pelago pa mama lavato pesa.
Really starting to get interesting now. As we're seeing changes happen, Joe is still in this game as well. Take a look. Acorn
zAndy a murit, vo.
solo right now, making do with anything. Right, honestly, when we last tuned in, he barely had something. But
Alla hajo Queasy cu Venom.
Queasy and Vino have now solidified
zAndy și Dedo.
Yeah, that feeling of deja vu sinks in yet again. 6 moving zone.
Arată-l pe Joe, bro.
They took it yesterday as Thomas and Tripperin. This time around, they're going to have that flexibility because they're 141 above the damage threshold this time, so they don't have to go hunting. They can stay ahead of zone, try to get themselves in a good spot.
And what a beautiful way and usage of the shield bubbles to make their rotate on the dead side while using the shield bubbles.
Cealaca mi-e bomba.
Slipping there, and Seti is left now as a solo in this endgame to the hands of Larson.
To am după jos, nu-l văd.
Yeah, this endgame is just getting so rough. Up and down these mountains. These players are going to have to figure out what they're going to do, especially Tripper, who is out of builds. Him and Thomas have to figure out something, but they have been through the ringer this game. If anybody deserves it, it's them.
This is crazy.
Joe cu zAndy e pe 4 la un moment dat.
He does it again. True Lex with a huge refresh, and he is back in the game.
Ce huge fish, mă, în voiul meu. Nu mai e, mă, s-a dus Joe. E mort.
Take a fight there, but no, they want to make this rotate. They need to get to the zone. What a great layer change here from Sentit, and it's all about smart play from him.
Yeah, he had 2 med miss floppers on the backside of zone. Thomas doing everything he can to stay alive, just like Larson here, who's by himself. 5 eliminations as a team.
Tupeu ai Larson ăsta pe el.
Off the back of Larson and that early game.
A câștigat Queasy cu Venom.
Queasy and Vino holding on high to the high ground in the sky.
And Brazil is still alive in this game as well. So we have EU, NA, and Brazil all in this same game. You can see the heals coming out from Ketos and PH in there. They still have so much to work with. 2 of our top 5 teams already out.
Mai e ceva de-al în viață.
Vino and Queasy, they are starting to take away. Tripper holding on with dear life here at 200 points, making sure the gap does not go too far. 6 elims now for a Brazilian duo. Larson has a solo right now, trying to steal away whatever he can get.
Only 2 builds of names, trying to play his cards carefully, but somehow Sentit
again
he goes
down. Second.
It's Thomas HD with a run of a lifetime right now going down right before our very eyes. Top 10 finish. Now he's in the top 7 as well, trying to keep it going. KBR, Larson, all these solos coming around. This is going to get good.
Oh, right through the chrome and Vortex puts him down.
I-a dat Max și tot nu l-a bătut.
Down he goes, and now we're looking at a 2-on-2 +1 in the mix there in the low ground. Queasy and Vino are starting to run out of, Matt's down low, but that's all. They have tons of heals to work with. Meanwhile, Bevy's is just clawing his way through the builds here. It is not looking too good. Queasy's gonna get burned
Holy shit.
over peeking down low, but this should be their game.
That feeling of deja vu comes in yet again, picking up where they left off from yesterday. But this time, Janice and Vidil, the team from Greasy Grove, making it this far, and it's come down to a 2v2 situation between 2 of the top teams in EU. With Janice and Vidil feeling the pressure of the high ground, running out of builds. This is basically Queasy and Vino's game.
Both sides are starting to run out now. Queasy's down to 1 build as well. This is looking very dire. They're gonna have to cap off. Janice and Vidil know better. They need to continue the pressure. Vino goes down. He takes a shot. Vidil blocks it. Beautifully done.
L-a
Queasy with a great follow-up. And oh my gosh, it was so close. But Queasy touches out in the end.
Ce joacă, mă.
Vino Queasy from first to another first, literally.
From high ground in 6 moving zone, the calculated play pays
Ce-a jucat, mă.
through and through. This is one team you don't want to give a single advantage to, because you will regret it at the end of the day.
Vino and Queasy are showing us why they are cut above the rest. They're looking good while they do it. The ability to capitalize on pulling that north zone is just making it look so easy for them. Let's get caught up here.
I'm joined now by your Game 7 winners. It's Queasy and Vino!
Queasy and Vino, osu.
An incredible way. we talked about this only a recent
Sì, Vehy incredibile, no?
about coming in at like a strong start here, Vino, and you have done exactly that with an incredible endgame finish.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable. Hopefully we can still close it out. We're feeling good. Maybe we should get a bit more kills. 4-kill win, but we're feeling good.
We saw some of the teams around you managed
to
score
NPC.
points as well. Were you conscious of that going through it? Were you focused simply on the task at hand, which was seeing that out and getting the victory royale?
We're just focused on playing our own game and winning the game. That's it. Like, brand new day, brand new everything.
Well, it was a great start to proceedings and a great start to this competition on day number 2. Let's get back
Cine e o suveișorul meu din Italia.
Shout outs to you, Adam. Thank you so much. And massive shout outs to Queasy and Vino. We interviewed them at the end of yesterday, and they said, we want to take a moment. We need to go back. We need to
Mama, să nu mai ține ăștia 5 ore, mâncați-și că îmi bat picioarele.
What a better way than just go ahead and win the game. I mean, to come out and in zone 2, be zone favored, to be sitting in zone on height, basically max materials, basically max heals. They're not going to lose.
They're unstoppable, Zeke. We saw it yesterday, and I don't know what's going on. Another North Zone for this duo with the potential they have, how confident they are, how well they play. We saw it going into the late game. I think it was Queasy almost had 12 splashes, almost max materials, and they knew exactly how to capitalize on an advantage like that.
zAndy pe 6,
You know how they knew how to capitalize? Game number 5, the zone was almost in the exact same place yesterday. Today, it's in the exact same place again. It's just deja vu. It's Groundhog Day for these teams that are playing it. And of course, Queasy and Vehy, it's the same outcome. What I noticed about them doing really, really well there was in second moving zone, they actually switched to metal. Now, that's the time when most teams are going to be using wood. They're going to be running out of steam.
E bine achiziție pe bună. Da, au scăzut, mă, n-au văzut n-au full fire.
Happens in second zone, and they were reinforced in metal. Little something to pick up on in that gameplay.
I'm telling you, it's just one of those things, right? They kind of take that step back and they say, wait, remember, this is an invitational. We got to be on point. We can't make those small mistakes. And of course, they come out strong. Thomas and Trippin as well. We watched the top 3. They have not budged.
Look, I got scared for a moment watching Thomas HD and Tripper.
Stai unghiile pictate, chat.
Vaca and on one. You can actually see it happening here, and that was a close one. One of them, I believe it was Thomas. No, it was Tripperin who got knocked down here, leaving Thomas alone. But he did a huge amount of damage before getting knocked, and was actually able to escape and get picked up again, which allowed them to get those points that they needed.
Yeah, it was absolutely valiant from Trippin there as well. If he'd have just gone down without taking out one of the opponents there, he wouldn't have been able to get res, right? That was a crucial amount of damage that he did right there, and it allowed Thomas HD to have that freedom to get the revive. I didn't think they were going to make it through this endgame. Their surge were looking pretty bad, particularly for their zone position here. Of course, they're landing at the Rave Cave. They have it did require a nice little solo clutch from Thomas HD.
Să știți, băieți, că eu mâine am liceu și nu știu cât o să țin live-ul. Cred că până pe la 11:30, 12 maxim.
That's right. Well, guess what? These are just some of our insights. Vivid is actually standing by on the stage. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yes, of course. Listen, I am feeling for the players right now. We saw them hit the socials. They were complaining about all these North Zones yesterday. What are we going to start with here again today? Another Northern Zone. Now, I wanted to kind of explain why some of these pro players are having such a hard time with this. Well, first of all, it's going to be all about Tilted Towers and the blimp that we can find there. Look what this position is doing around it. There is not a single arrow under this blimp. And what it does is it's going to force this funnel on the right side and the left side of it. So as they're making this rotation all the way up to the northern side of this map, they're all just rotating together, right? It's looking like the Mr. Beast X Fortnite line over there for these burgers. Absolutely incredible. And then when this zone actually ends up,
Uite și tu, mâncați-și că zAndy era... Mama, măs.
So hard for any of these teams to consistently handle this if you are coming from the southern side of the map. But of course, Queasy and Vehy landing up there. They do take that victory out. Congratulations to them. That being said, let's kick it back over to the desk.
Nu înapoi la birou, eu vreau meciul 7, 8. Și șansele e destul de mari.
They finally find themselves in that top 15 and hold and fall in 5th place.
Destul de mari.
We don't need the victory royale to climb the standings. We just need to be consistent.
Look, I love to see this duo performing well. The audience loves it. I hear the cheers when they're getting elim after elim, and now being bumped up to 4th place, seeing that this is the 4th finals they are playing together. This duo coming
Câte meci se mai joacă? 4.
Being an all-star champion as well to now on the main international stage performing, you'd love to see it.
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, right? Can these teams pick up where they left off after day one? And zAndy and KBR were one of those teams that ended the day better than they started. Their final 3 games yesterday, they had one of the most points out of all of the teams, and they're picking it up once more.
That's right, another duo, PH
Bă, mai am un somn și de bea 10 jumate, Doamne.
in the top 15. So real Brazil, they're showing up huge today. I feel like another duo that we actually got to see first time. They're kind of still under the radar.
Da, ăștia 3 jumate, mâncați și gata din Doamne. La mine e... La mine e 10 jumate, că-mi pun mâinile în cap, mâncați și gata.
The zones are pulling north. I don't have time to get enough surge. I don't have time to get enough damage. I need to change something.
Eu n-am timp să mai stau să fac live, coaie. N-am timp.
It's a huge match for them.
Yeah, they were doing great. I saw Vidil just doing a little bit of bot-reviewing as well, and he's really making changes.
Man, a lot of these players, they know today is the day to bring it all. But as we prepare for Game 8, let's go hang out with Monster D-Face and Jacob to get things started.
Thank you so much there, Zeke. Yeah, we really get to pick things up. It's looking
Hai
like
că n-am
we're
să tot de
closing
mult.
into a runaway train potentially.
Yeah, potentially it is so, but
Uitați-mi la Ivan în
5
pasat.
games left on the day. For some of these teams, right now, game number 8 is their chance to close the gap on that leaderboard and fight for the chance to call yourself the FNCS Invitational Champion.
Well, at this
Păi cum să mă îmbrac, mă,
point,
că mă este. Salut,
where
Vix.
I'm landing, I'm gonna maybe
Ia uite-l
think
pe
to
Eze.
myself, hey, let's slide on north. Let's play the upper side of this early rotate. How do we get to those general areas sooner rather than later? Well, now we get to find out, folks. Here we are. Game number 8 is kicking off.
Yep, got a little bit of a different bus path yet again. I'm liking the little bit of variety that we are coming out with. And for some of these teams, we're going to see a little bit of Fort Jonesy, Clicks and Duke, Peak and Anas. Almost all day yesterday, they completely split the POI, went their 2 separate ways. And that's how they were able to get the spot they did on the leaderboard.
That's right.
Ești pregătit, Pop? Nu, mă pregătim. Dinte content ăla nebun.
Not much to work with, and that is the difference maker sometimes when you have your route being imposed on. It's not all about taking head-to-head engagements, it's also about what you lose out on.
Yeah, because you also got to remember, there is 7 different regions being represented right now. Some of these guys
are English very good.
In their region, and they're not contested on
Mamă, te am și liceu, mâine, trebuie să fac geanta, Doamne.
Some of them to have to work through as Cammy and Seti yet again trying to get that early surge down.
Mulțumesc mult de subscribe.
Control of the entire house over at Grim's Gables. A split spot coming out from Muzz and Looter. But you got to watch out if you're being this split against a team that is this active in Larson and Smite.
La 6 PG, la 7. Și am mai de somn.
Now we get to look over at Chapix and Tayson. The rotate out for Aqua losing his teammate right now. Reason is down, and Aqua, I can just feel the desperation. The look on his face tells it all, man, as they are communicating with one another. What went wrong?
You see Seti and Cammy join Aqua and Nyrox as the only players with multiple VRs in an international event. That is absolutely impressive as these two teams closing the gap between each other. They want that off-spawn exchange, and for Muzz and Looter, they want revenge. They want redemption for what they've been going through the past 7 games.
That last game was a great one for Smite and Larson, officially jumping their way back up
Cum să scoate telefonul meu, bro? What the fuck?
If Muzz and Looter play spoiler here, it'll be a huge landslide moment for Smite and Larson. They can't afford that. Lovely for them to disengage and play this one out. Tripper and Thomas HD so far. For me, the play of the day has to go to them. They have managed to turn that last game around with nothing. Arguably, probably one of the worst positions we'll see them in over the course of the day.
And they had one of the most performances yesterday, almost 20 points in
all
game. No other team had even 10 points in every game. So you got to imagine how that really puts them on the confidence scale coming into day number 2 as Joe and zAndy. We're going to have a little bit of a north pool yet again. It's going to be on the eastern side this time around. So for some of these teams, it's going to be a little bit of an easier game. But some of them, it's going to be equally as hard as the last.
I'm happy we have to jump in with KBR here because Z is down. We saw that exchange happening.
Mulțumesc mult de subscribe.
Not completely clear here at the Luster.
Că am văzut și cine s-a abonat. Vă pup chat, mulțumesc de subscribe. Pe azi pe live.
Up at the north side alongside Scram being another set of duos, right? So that is very much a contested area, and now he has to play for the save.
Yep, on board, Queasy and Vino. One of two teams in this event that has 2 victory royales so far in this tournament, and you're seeing how they're getting the job done. Going from balloon to balloon, the high ground, getting the surge, surveying the lobby is absolutely important. This is such a synergistic duo that cannot be stopped at the way.
Cred că mă mai uit la meciul ăsta, băieți, și mă bag la somn.
Zone is leaning north. Is it going to end somewhere up there? Yes or no?
No. I want to bet against it. I want to bet against it because some of these teams have been just going through the ringer with those north zones. I'd be okay with an eastern one, giving some of our teams on that just a little bit of a chance to kind of climb up that leaderboard. But a team that doesn't need a chance because they take it by force is Wox and Robob Kebab. They're one of my favorite teams simply because of Robob's name.
Yeah, you say it all the way through every time.
Mamă, dar Bailey ăsta aude.
Bailey and Alex in a box fight right now versus Yusri and Ju. This is a long-awaited fight. It's been happening all weekend long. They're one of the few teams that have been contested,
Wow.
but not have really turned their winning fights into anything big in the end game, right?
Ce faceți, coai? Ce faceți?
Ju and Yusri.
Coai, ce fac ăștia Inter Open?
Settled every single game yesterday. Or at least I'd guess so, between Alex and Bailey, Ju and Yusri. But Alex and Bailey, I was kind of talking to them. Anybody in this tournament, realistically, including them, off at a moment's notice. You just have to find a way to do it while staying consistent at the same time, and they want to go ahead and get this elimination. They want to go ahead and fight this, so that way they can get the surge that they need, so they don't have to worry about it later on. Because unlike every regular FNCS of the past, our contested teams this side around are actually having very good tournaments.
I think what we're seeing right now is stage pressure kicking in. I had a lot of time to kick up, really catch up and get to know Alex and Bailey in the lead up to all of this. And what they've managed to tell me is they were winning most of their creative head-to-head. So I think when it comes down to raw skill, Alex and Bailey might have the edge over Ju and Yusri, who are newer formed duo in finals style settings. That's kind of what's happening here. Let's go to catch up with Miro though. What's been going on with him down south?
Yeah, him and Booga, I've been wanting to see more of. This is a legacy style event for them. Already, they're switching it up. Miro finding an early elimination onto Bevies. And that was a thing for them. They had such north poles, they weren't able to get the surge, so they had to go hunting just like so many other players in the lobby, and you're not really able to control your game if you're just forced to go for surge game after game.
That's right, but luckily for him, he does find a little bit of success there. An elim is huge, especially considering he can go ahead and rotate sooner rather than later. Thomas HD, Tripper, taking their really turning up the action. This is learning from your previous game. They do not want to find themselves in another storm surge position where they have to fight for surge.
You can see that Thomas having more points as a solo than any other player in EU. But to me, that's not too surprising because we talk about his accolades. We talk about how he is. He just needs to seal that deal with an FNCS championship, and he could really cement himself as one of the best players of all time.
And you can see he also led all damage on day number 1, really earning that respect there. If you didn't believe it before, seeing him do it in person is exceptional. As Seti and Cammy, we can speak to the same accolades. What a great duo here. Just really strategizing all the way through, playing so well so far.
No, poi non me la sono iniziato. Io non mi pide niente.
Where Tayson and Chapix, you can see a lot of those Cloudy Condos teams not able to get a ton of damage. Themselves up for a good mid game, but right now they already took down Macwood, looking to go back to back and take down Kanata as well. They are hot on the heels. They don't want to let this one escape. The damage continues. The pressure is just insurmountable right now as Kanata is just trying to survive. Luckily for him, a couple of players joining on the fun. The tags come in from a third party. That's going to allow Kanata just a few seconds to try to stabilize against this European powerhouse.
Kanata and Macwood are uncontested at their drop, so they're playing
Adică de nu mai faci ce-a făcut la ce efect.
But Kanata riding his way around the builds right now. You can see Tayson now jumping onto all the loot. Some of it was already scavenged through, so
Zici că la fel de bine sau cum?
the distance shots come in, that could be Bugha and Miro at the hill there. As we know, this is their area. They do play those outskirts. They will not rotate early to center. It's not how they do it.
And I was just trying to stay alive right now on the edge of zone as well, so it's not even going to be a storm fight when it comes down to it. So Chapix and Taste do exactly anything they want, and you can kind of see KBR, Zeke, 4th place. They go down in this one. That's not where you want to be, but the fight continues, and Kanata is doing an absolutely fantastic job fighting back against one of the best teams in the region of EU.
Let's see it. Chapix looking for the wall here. Kanata demanding respect, but gets punished first. 72.
Mamă, Joe e low. Se bate.
He fights back. This is what pro players do so well, and Tayson still, against all odds, will turn that one
Se bate
around.
zAndy.
It was looking so dicey.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kanata Macwood, that's where that consistency of yesterday kind of comes to a halt, but there's still a couple more games on the day. They can climb back at any moment.
That's right. Let's get a quick update from Taco on how things are going.
Ooh.
Been a lot of action taking place over in the Tilted Towers area as well throughout this game, but absolutely wanted to highlight the way that Acorn and Edgy have just managed to split their teamwork responsibilities. You got Acorn just all of his time securing the loot, securing resources for this duo. Meanwhile, Edgy, he's making sure to take care of their surge management. The entire while he's just posted up on high ground, looking everywhere he can for as many tags as possible so that their rotations can be as free as they need it.
And those are the strengths of Tilted Towers. Center location. It doesn't
Mamă,
matter
ce uite
where the
Tilted
zone
ăsta,
goes.
că nu
They have a strategy
E uite-o.
that has been so solid every single time. And again, as we gave you guys the updates, top 5 has changed as 4th place is now out of the competition. You see there the slight misplay from KBR. He tries to throw down a chug splash, but unfortunately sends one into the bush. And look at that, gets eliminated there by Wax and Robob. And the reaction, that's a tough one there because, again, they were doing very well pacing in Game 8.
Yeah, just hopefully right now, mentally, they realize that they can still do very, very well. They can still jump up a ton of placings in the next couple of games. You just have to buckle down. You can see the TSM duo far below. But now I want to go over to Larson and Smite. Is this the longest either one of these teams alive? But bidding Grim Gables as well. But at the end of the day, they want to fight. And that fight they will get. And between Larson and Smite, they have a little bit of that high ground. They're only team contested in the top 5.
At this point, I don't even know if they know it's Looter and Muzz. How do they? You really... like, how do they? It's been happening for so long. Maybe they walked away and came back, said, hey, is this another duo? But no, it's just Larson. It's just Smite. It's just Muzz. It's just Looter. And now out of material, Larson trapped up. Box like a fish, almost.
Box like a fish, auzi? Mamă.
No HP, low material count. It's
Am
down.
uitat.
Goes Smite. Larson sneaks out the side there, and Muzz catches the first elimination, and the siphon is enough to get some mats there.
That's huge. That's huge for them, for their comeback attempt. Get as many placements as possible, but there's a couple other teams that are stacked up here as well, and it does look like the surviving member of that duo got out alive for a moment, but he cannot go back into the storm. Otherwise, he will get eliminated by somebody else.
And Thomas HD gets those 2 points. That can be a difference maker. 3 points for Thomas HD and Trippin, who are on the
Ai șanse zAndy să vină.
and Queasy, but now 4th place is down. 5th place is down. The top 3 have more of a runway to start ramping up.
Am uit 45.
Undershots here. They are making the rotate. It's Avery and Command.
Au toate șansele să facă bine.
Material count as well. King has to box up.
Yep, another team towards the north side of the map, on the western side as well, that has a little bit of a pull to go. I don't want to say I called it, but I wanted that little bit of an eastern side. We don't want to go
Păi să zAndy nu știm unde e, băieți. Nu-l vedem.
Fighting chance as Sentin and Cole, they're just a below surge, but barely below as they're continuing to find the tags, trying to get themselves above. Just like that, it appears. They did just enough damage, but for them, that's not a feeling of comfortability at all. They know their job is not done just yet, and that's why they keep surveying the field.
That is right. Great tags here. Scepter is going to find down low. this is where you need to really hit your shots when your team is just on that line of danger. When
Da,
the
eu mă
storm
întreabă.
surge is looming, and when the pressure is on, who can go ahead and put up the numbers that matter
Da,
most?
este zAndy.
No Riley, bad sniper, very low on HP, not even pausing to go ahead and heal one
Da,
another.
e un ses.
Pushing on in. That's the Japanese duo right there.
Mamă.
Zagu and Mareem, they
Bombă
are
și-a luat.
champions of Asia, the most recent
Bă,
FNCS
ce faceți, mă, Vehy?
You have to put respect on their name, and these EU boys are learning very quickly as to why you don't walk up to that wall.
Yeah, and they're actually one of the teams that have some of the best performances when rebooting a player. They got a 25th place finish, they got a second, but no O'Reilly.
Nu, de ce te bagi așa, voiul meu?
Zagu gets dropped as well. Both these players living on a prayer, but the Asian powerhouse team do it again. Let's get loud for Japan.
NPC-uri, mă.
Japan, we love to see it. It's a jammed house here in
Îi auziți că și-au ăștia, de ce nu-i pășați?
These teams stepping up under the lights, under the action. Thomas HD Tripper doing that as well. Look at how they adjusted from game 1 on this day, from game 7 to game 8 now, right? All of a sudden now,
Nu mai nimeni în
they are
boxurile.
so far above with the damage.
But historically, when it comes to Thomas HD and Trippin, I will say their second half team, their second day team, historically they just perform better when their back is up against the wall. And hopefully for NAEs, hopefully for North America all together, Acorn and Edgy can have that same fire. You talk about them being in 4th place on the day. It was only because they had a bad game 2. They had a 0-point game 2 yesterday. Other than that, they were among the top 3
Păi, cum să faci
performances
din
of
țelul
the
aici?
second half of the day. If they can continue
Eu vor
that here
câștiga,
early,
bă,
they
câștigă
will be on the
100.000 de euro locul 1 și un trofeu atât de mare să moară, băieți.
That's going to be a huge refresh for him, but Kitos and PH in holding on to dear life right now, just edging on the
mai
top 10
trofeu.
here as far as overall points go. Last
Am
game
mai
they were
zAndy, mă.
in 4th, they slipped way on down, and this time it seems like the Storm Surge has ran a number on them. Now let's take a look at their current game leaders. Rotates there, Cammy and Seti being a few of the bulk that are still in this one, finding themselves pretty much dead center here. Now remember, if there's any zone you want to be in the middle, it's zone 3, as it gives you the highest odds to pull that 4th one.
N-am mai zAndy, să
And
știți.
on that, it's anyone's ball game.
And the interesting
N-am
thing
uit.
about
Mă uitat pe
Cammy
tecări.
and Seti and the way they're playing this weekend is historically, we've talked about it in the desk to kind of start the day yesterday. They're not an aggressive team. Even though they're in a top placing team, they're usually on the low, but right now, another top placing team on the leaderboard, Joe and zAndy trying to get busy. Malibuga goes down. Merstash is by himself, trying to live with just a sliver of HP as
E
Joe waits for
puțin,
time, trying to
bă,
get
e
the
mult,
run,
mă,
but
să
zAndy goes down to
pentru un
the
joc.
floor. 1v1 situation. Peace Control goes right back over to Merstash. He
Haide, Joe, nu te căca pe tine. Da, mă.
back to back by Joe to get the double elimination.
And we love to see it. It's usually your friends that turn on you, Joe. zAndy against Malibuga and Merstash. Tough one right there.
Take the L, bro, take
They
the L.
will be the EU team on top in that engagement.
This Queasy and Vino team that's sitting comfortably in 1st place as Booga taking down clicks in the feed. And that's what we want to see. We saw Miro getting a little bit busy earlier. Now we're seeing Booga start to get active. This team is beginning to come online. And for a team as dangerous as they are, they have never
Oricum, pe lângă ea 100.000, primești și cloud, primești și o grămadă de chestii.
It's going to be a tough one, though. They will have to continue to turn up. But Vico is in a fight up against Zagu and Mareem, and he will turn things around. Vico had the biggest game closer yesterday of any other player on the day. This man is an animal.
Dangerous as can be, and you can see Pink and Anas.
Practic 50.000 de lei. N-am uit. Aoleu. L-a bătut Merstash. Dați mai spate pe live, l-a bătut Merstash. Și Joe l-a bătut pe duul lui Merstash și pe celălalt. Am uitat acum, bă. Dacă face 15 puncte, e bine. Nu, măi, băieți, e GG.
When do I move? When do I go? That's the question he's asking himself second after second. As Thomas and Trippin 271 above the damage threshold. Not much to go, but they want to get there as fast as possible. In a zone like this, you want to get yourself that sweet spot, and it looks like they're going straight for the high ground.
Don't overcommit here. Shield bubble comes down to protect themselves. This will allow the builds to get to max HP, and now they can start to read the room. It's Epic Whale. That's not an easy duo by any means. But no, high ground cannot be claimed. There's still some natural
Încă mai e în viață. E bine. Mai scoate un placement.
Thomas HD, so much better in this game here, looking so much better. Tripper as well.
I like this view of the lobby right now because it really shows us how stacked that right side actually is. We're gonna probably see some teams launchpad early if they do not get the zone.
Da, să mai NPC. Că nu-i combinații. Oricum ne sta multă lume pe live, cred că am vreo 20. Fix 20 am, vă pupă toți feți.
Acorn and Edgy might have found some points there. That is huge, but no, it's just going to be taxed. Oh, actually, yes. Yep. Edgy will get the Elim credit there. That's going to effectively push them over. Cold and Sensitive, they have done enough to go ahead and continue to trade that 7th and 8th place position. The top 10 is extremely competitive here. Bugha, Miro, 4 eliminations. What a massive swing of points here.
Mamă, ți-e de lupit ai bot ăla. Încă e în viață, Joe, e full HP. Arată-i fish, băieți. Arată-i fish, e full HP.
Vino and Queasy already positioned up at the north side here. Here comes another launch pad. It's down. And the
Au ca zAndy pe poate, e bine. Vedem cum se uitește acum.
And he loses his shield as well. And now split from Queasy. Queasy bases out wide here to put up a front on high ground. Scram and Chimp who land outside of the Lustrous Lagoon all of a sudden trying to turn us around. Edgy is down. Acorn by himself. World of trouble. And he goes down to Avery from the side there.
That is huge because they're having a pop-off game right now. Seeing Commandment getting a few eliminations already. Chimp and Scram finding success here on the day. They had a top finish yesterday. They're looking to replicate that some way, shape, or form. But Vino, Queasy, you know what time it is. 5th into 6th moving zone. This is where they typically try to go for that high ground and hold on to it for the rest of the game.
Most of top 10 that we started this lobby with is now down and out. But you know who is consistent is our remaining first 3. Vino, Queasy, Thomas HD, Tripper, Seti, and Camis are still in this game. And somewhere amongst all that, you have the solo Joe, who was just picked up, and now Vico, one of the only few who can actually jump back into this.
If anybody can do it and pick up some good points, it is going to be him. And if you look at his inventory, he has that recipe for success. Queasy, Vino, just looking for that information. Like I said, they're right now looking, is high ground take going to be possible? As they're spotting all these players around, figure out who is moving, where to go. Is Tripper and Thomas 33 below the damage threshold. They're going to launch pad, get ahead of zone, and as soon as they do, even though they're not in zone, they're going to be looking all around them to try to find the tags that they need.
The best part of what we're watching right now is the preparation, the hard work, and all of that coming together here for the EU trios or duos at the top right now. Because at the end of the day, we know they put in all the work. Vino is going to find Reet and then crank his way up to high ground. And all of a sudden, he is trying to go for a back-to-back. They might just be the most winningest team of the FNCS.
Back-to-back games, 6 moving zone. They take the high
ground. Și Joe, am văzut.
They find 2 eliminations on their way to the end game, and if they could just make it.
zAndy e mort, da, e mort.
Trying to find some elevation to work with, but Chimp and Scram fighting for the high ground against Queasy and Vino.
Cine vine mă ăsta pe haivoțea a doua, auzi?
Building high enough to shut down that opportunity.
Queasy's going to meet him there as well. Look at this, it's going to cost him a ton of material. So it's not over yet. Launchpad comes in, and there it is. He almost gets boxed out, and Queasy and Vino have to give up the high ground. Vino drops down, takes some fall damage here, and the defense, it's Chapix, it's Tayson on height, out of nowhere.
And while all this action's going down,
Bugha
and Miro found 2 more eliminations. They're continuing to light things up as Andalix finding one. Vino finds another on Robot. Going down. Queasy left by himself. No build, just a few bandages. This man is trying to make miracles happen. Looking towards the backside of zone. He gets shut down by Pablo.
And it's actually a time for
Dacă se uita în partea aia, poate.
Take advantage of the fact that they cannot earn any points. Tripper is still alive right now. No team's getting taken out, but no, he's hurt, and he goes down. He does not manage to find anything. What's left is zAndy and Kama. What's left is Bugha and Miro here, but Miro's down for eliminations. This is where he needs to perform best. Into the hands of zAndy, Miro has fallen.
And right now, this is just an unorthodox way to take that top spot for Cammy and zAndy to where they weren't as aggressive coming into this event. This is the most aggressive we have ever seen a team like them, and it is paying off tenfold as the high ground switches on over. But the World Cup champion, the solo World Cup champion, is stuck at just that, a solo trying to stay alive, figuring out what the plan is going to be, moving around the left side of zone where not too many players are at, and the smart usage of the Chrome splashes as well, denying the opportunity to get through, but he finds the shots on the scram, but he
Fate bula.
This is going to come down to that. Chip takes down Bugha. Into the top 10 he goes, though.
And look at Chip go. Look at the quick edits there as he manages to turn around. Now out of material. It's all or nothing. A quick edit down low as well to keep him in the game here. But the low ground.
Da, mă uit zAndy,
It's called. They're waiting here as the loot rains down the river. Unfortunately, slips away from them. zAndy still alive here, trying to squeeze out as many points as possible, and he works his way on up to the top. Meanwhile, Clown playing
Chapis moare. S-a luat high, nu? Nu. Mamă, ce pic. Bugha, îți dai seama că nu mai e ca înainte. Ce să faci acum?
Chrome splash, Bobifying himself, dashing, trying to take the high ground, but a misstep by Golden Scented as well. They both go down to hand. He is putting on a show to bring them to the top of the leaderboard.
It only takes one game to jump back into this top 10 here, and you're watching players fight for it, putting it all on the line. 9 elims for Wax and Robab, 3 for Clown, who has a little high ground position here.
Se dai pichezi de prostie, nu știu.
It's Hen, it's Vortex. They're the only duo alive standing right now. 1v1v2, Clown versus Wax here. Wax is looking up
Mai e un build ăsta.
jump shot there, and he is down. And now Clown has to take on 2 of the best here on EU. Killed Hen, focus Vortex. It's not
e morto.
but it's looking great for Vortex and Hen, and they close out.
He had complete control of that game. From 8 moving zone and all, the last duo teamwork really making that dream work. And off the back of Hen, that 2 eliminations at the end to get the siphon, that was the recipe for their success.
And they were just so close to pushing double digits there. A low ground win is not something we've seen, but let's get caught up in a little insight from the pros.
Hello, I am joined here by Vortex and Hen after that incredible game. How you feeling, man?
Pretty pumped. Just gotta keep it up.
I mean, obviously grabbing, 8-9 eliminations in that game. What's
the
next step for the next game?
Win next game again.
Okay, 2 VRs back-to-back. I love it so much. And obviously, what was the recipe for success there? There was a lot going on all around you guys.
We made lots of mistakes yesterday, and we're trying to come back stronger. So we're trying to fix all the mistakes made yesterday and, win today.
So what were some of the mistakes that you fixed in this day?
Search and rotation.
I love it. I mean, thank you guys so much for joining me here. Congratulations on your win. Can't wait to see what you guys do next game. Let's head on back to the desk.
Thank you guys
so much. Hen and Vortex picking up game number 8. And all with 9 eliminations. This is kind of what we talked about yesterday at the end of the day, right? Yesterday was kind of like an initial setup. Let's go ahead and let's fight a few times, play a few games. But today, we really want to bring it. For them to come out in game number 8, basically the second one of the day, this is a really good jump start.
This is where they have to shine, right, Zeke? And they did exactly that in this match. I mean, one of the few victory royales that actually come from down in the dirt, from below.
Yeah, they really did. And what you noticed from that interview right there, they were saying, of course, they had surge issues yesterday. They had some positional, rotational issues. And this is something that I thought might happen with this duo. They're 2 fraggers ready. They don't really have that lead. They don't have that IGL. I think Hen is trying to take on the role at the moment, but they're 2 fraggers by heart. And I think that overnight sort of VOD viewing session they must have done has really helped them fix those issues, because although they might not have that dominant leader in the game, they've been able to look back at their games and think, okay, we're fixing this, we're fixing that, and clearly it's working out.
And just kind of like the holding, right, in reserves there, being almost a game entirely of solos, except this duo. They just kind of held out, right? They're saying, we don't know why, but everyone's fighting all the way around us. Let's just wait it out. Top 3 here, it's a 2v1. Yeah, let's close it out. 9 eliminations, no big deal.
Look, Queasy and Vino were looking for high ground. Tayson and Chapix were looking for high ground. The battle up above was dangerous, and it was actually too dangerous because the duos kept getting eliminated, losing a teammate, ended up with too many solos, where in the end, Hen and Vortexer just made it happen.
And I feel like looking back at the game, Queasy and Vino, they were looking good, right? For a moment, they just, well, for most of the game, they were actually low on builds. And then we kind of blinked, and I was like,
zAndy
hey, there's someone in there.
Eu sunt pe 5 bebe, cea puțin.
No, someone's above them. It's Tayson, it's Chapix. Where did they come from?
Yeah, they were uncharacteristically low on builds in that end game, and I think the main reason for that was when they went for a pad in that half and half zone. We saw Vino and Queasy very, very split. Of course, that had to expend so many more materials to not only box up in their own individual boxes, but to get back together as well. I think Queasy may have gone a little bit higher up, and Vino was getting sprayed out of the air, so he had to do a little bit of a little slalom through all the bullets, and he ended up landing down below. So many of those builds were wasted there, and I think ultimately that's what caused them to go down on high.
I mean, it was interesting, but what I also find interesting is kind of the duo in the mist and the shadows, right, that are making their way up that leaderboard. cere and Cammy, the consistency with the drop spot, it's looking dangerous.
We'll talk more about them in just a moment. First, let's go to Adam, who is standing by. Adam, what you got?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Zeke. Can I get a huge round of applause representing Brazil? It's KBR and Zeke! Amazing stuff. I'm joined as well by their translator, Gabriel. Gabriel, I'd love to ask Zeke firstly. Currently 6th position in this competition, 4 games left. What's the strategy for the last 4 games?
Então, Zeke, você está em 6º lugar do seu time e faltam 4 jogos para terminar. Qual que vai ser a estratégia da agora para frente?
De agora para frente, a gente vai tentar nessas últimas 4 partidas pegar o high com a dica do nosso amigo DK e tentar levar o top 1 pro Brasil. Vamos, Brasil!
So he said we're going to take the strategy of our friend over there, DK, just to go on high. And so let's go Brazil.
Let's go Brazil. And lastly, to KBR as well, can we ask what's it been like representing Brazil in front of these amazing fans here at FNCS Invitational?
Então, KBR, para você, como foi representar o Brasil aqui nesse torneio?
É muito feliz estar representando o Brasil por toda a história minha e do cheat dentro do jogo. E dá pra ver aqui como a torcida é muito grande. Tipo, a gente tá com uma quantidade pouca de pessoas, só que tá dando grito maior que a da torcida toda.
He said, I'm incredibly excited to be here. And I mean, with all these people, we only have a couple of Brazilians and we're louder than everyone else.
You had it right there. Thank you very much, KBR indeed!
Bă, dar cât mai lungesc ăștia, mă, cât mai lungesc.
Thank you so much, Adam. I mean, what more can you say?
Gen, cât să mai lungească, coaie, cât să mai lungească. M-au plictisit ăștia, Doamne.
My goodness. Let's kind of focus back up now after this game is done. I want to talk about Sammy. I knew I was going to do this. Cammy and cere. There it is. Don't worry, my brain just makes up words all the time. Cammy and cere doing really well there in the middle of the game. But, you know, finding themselves kind of in an interesting position. They had plenty of builds, but it didn't quite help them make it to the end game.
Look, I don't think they're worried, right? They did what they need to do. You can see right now cere getting elim after elim. He was alone at the end there as his partner. There you go. Cammy went down and cere was forced to clutch it up, but he got an incredible amount of placements and they're playing.
Eu vă apuc să stați cu mine până aici. Vă pupă toți 15 de pe live. Eu nu mai pot să stau, băieți, că mor de somn mâine la liceu. Eu nu câștig nimic dacă mă la băieții ăștia decât fac niște content. Mai fac, cred că face și review în parte, puteți să mergeți la să uitați. Vă pup, chat, noaptea bună. Vă pup multe semn și multe sper că nu mai o să țin live-ul dacă mor de somn. Vă pup, băieți, ne auzim cu bine mâine. Eu am fost Vehy și v-am pupat. Salut!